Hi guys, I wanted to come to you today with a video on grieving. Today is the 4-year anniversary of when my parents got sick, and it would be about 5 months later that both of my parents would pass away about 3 weeks away from each other. So I wanted to do this video. I've wanted to do it for a long time. I know a lot of you have asked me to do this video, and I felt that this was probably the most appropriate time for me to do this since I am doing some grieving. I want to do this to help anybody out that has had to grieve, is grieving, or will grieve at some point. I want to let you know what I've gone through. Not everybody will experience the same thing I do. Everybody is different. Everybody's situation is different. So it will be different. But I just wanted to let you know what my situation was and how I handled it. It's not the right way. It probably is the jacked up way to do it. But I got here. I'm able to laugh. I am in a much better place today than I was a year ago. 2 years ago, the day they died. I'm in a much better place. So let me start off by saying, please do not pity me. Please do not feel sorry for me, because I am a very, very lucky person. God has blessed me with a lot of friends, a great job, and you guys as well. You don't know how much some days I'm down and just reading or answering your thoughts or your comments help me. I've been pretty quiet this week. I'm trying to stay as low as possible or quiet as possible so that I don't have any freak out things. I just wanted to do that just to stay as quiet as I possibly could, and I've been burning a lot of candles, so that's always helpful, right? So I just wanted to tell you why I was going to do this video. I've written down some notes here, and I wanted to tell you about my situation. I lost both of my parents 3.5 years ago. I am an only child. I have no spouse, and I have no children. So that was a major loss for me because my parents were my world. My dad was in cardiac ICU. He had already had a heart attack. He was in the hospital as of this point. That morning, my mom had a wreck, and she ran over a sign. That was it, thank God. We thought she had meningitis at first. It turned out that she had West Nile disease. She already had multiple myeloma, which is malignant plasma cells that are in your bones. So her body was already compromised, and that's why she was able to come up with the West Nile disease. It was 115 here in Oklahoma at the time that week. Hotter than hell. And the truck that I wrecked last month was the truck that I was driving. Usually it took me 2 weeks to go through a tank of gas. In the month that they were in the hospital and in rehabilitation, I put 8 tanks of gas in that truck. And it was when gas was at an all-time high. I put almost $700 worth of gas in that truck that month. I never will forget that. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I wanted to go back and tell you about why my losses was a little harder than just losing my parents. Like I said, do not pity me. Do not feel sorry for me. This is life. This is the way it is. A month before my parents got sick, I lost my favorite cat. Then my parents got sick. At a couple days before Thanksgiving, my dad would pass away. I would find out 12 hours later after my dad passed away that my mom was going on hospice and there was nothing that they could do for her multiple myeloma. She would pass away 3 weeks later, 12 days before Christmas. Happy friggin' holidays to me. I lost my black cat a month later. Both of my cats had been 15 years old at the time, so they were old. And I inherited my mom and dad's bird and 2 cats. I still have one that you see running around here, and he's been in a couple videos, Charlie, the Siamese cat. The bird I lost that summer. Freaked out on that. And then 10 days before my mother's 1-year anniversary, I lost the other cat. He was a 21-pound cat. He was down to 9 pounds because he had a tumor in his lung. And he was the cat that stayed with me every night and snuggled with me, and he was my saving grace that first year, and I lost him 10 days before Mom's 1st-year anniversary. I remember going out to the truck after that and just bawling and telling God, I can't lose anything else, because if I have to bury one more thing, you're going to be burying me. And all that was left was me and Charlie, so of my family. And basically my life got ripped to the foundation, as you can tell of what I've just told you, that I lost just about everything except for Charlie. He was the only thing that I had. I have great friends, I have great family, I have a great job, and I've got you guys that I have had in my life for the last almost 2 years now. Very grateful for each and everything that God has given me, and the fact that God has walked with me through every last bit of this. I think sometimes that God allowed me to go through this is because He knew that I would be willing to help other people, tell my story, and do whatever I can to help others get through it as easily as they possibly can. I've never been quiet about my OCD. I've not quiet about my grieving or what I went through and the loss of my parents. I know a lot of people like to stay quiet about things. That's just not me. That's just not the way I am. I want to help you through any living hell that I can possibly help you through if I've been through it ahead of you. So that was what I wanted to tell you on that. There are 5 stages to grieving. There's the denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I have now, 4 years later, have made it to the acceptance stage. I made it about 4 months ago to the acceptance stage. It took me about 15 months to get through the hardest part of the grieving. I'm going to tell you right here and now, you can imagine what it'd be like to lose a parent times 100, because it ain't fun. And probably mine was a little worse because it was both parents at the same time, but losing one parent, I'm sure, isn't much less, doesn't hurt much less. It would have killed me to lose one just as much as the other. For me, I didn't have time to grieve my dad that much because I immediately had to go into taking care of my mother. Like I said, 12 hours later, I found out she was dying, and that became my ultimate concern, was her at that point. So I would recommend... one thing that I did before, I said I would never go to a group grief counseling session thing. Let me tell you something. Please go to one of them, and I will tell you why. After someone you love and they're that close to, you will think that you have become the most hateful person on the face of this earth. You will be mad at them. You will be mad at God. You will think the worst things that you can't even imagine that you would have ever thought before. And when you go through one of these group grief counseling sessions, you will understand that everybody else in that room is thinking the exact same things that you are, and you are not as hateful as you think you are. You're not hateful. You're not a mean, hateful person at all. It's what you do when you grieve. That's just a part of it. That's the anger part. Also, another thing that I would say is go to Barnes & Noble or wherever, Amazon, and get a book called The Orphaned Adult. And no matter what your situation is, every one of our situations will be different. No one will have the same situation I had. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's personality is different. Everybody grieves a different way from everyone else. So just what happened to me is not exactly what's going to happen to you. So get this book called The Orphan Adult. I don't know the author's name on it, but my friend, his mother died a year ago, and I told him to get this book, that it would help him. And he did not have the same relationship with his parents that I did, and he said that it helped him so much. He thanked me a lot for telling him about that book because it helped him greatly. And it goes through all different types of situations of families and whether you're close with your parents or whether you're not and whatnot. So definitely pick up that book. Like I said, everybody grieves differently. Nobody's going to grieve the same. The way I do it may be totally jacked up, and somehow I managed to turn around enough times and get going the right way that I finally got going. If you mess up on something, do not worry about it. You're learning. You're getting there. Just laugh about it, move on. You may not be able to laugh about it at the moment, but later, trust me, you'll be able to laugh about it. Especially if you have a sense of humor like me. I'm just the biggest goofball you'll ever seen, and I can screw up just about anything, and probably have. So, I want to tell you, a lot of people will have advice for you when when a loved one dies. They will try to tell you what you need to do. Let me tell you first and foremost, listen to your gut. Your gut will tell you exactly what you need to do. I went into trying to get into cooking classes and all these things, and it was causing my anxiety to go through the roof. It was making matters worse, and my best friend stopped me, and she said, look, stop what you're doing. And she said, you've got 1 year to grieve. Don't look for classes. You don't have to do anything. 1 year to grieve. At the end of that year, if you're not getting any better, then we'll work on it. But you've got 1 year to grieve. And that was the best gift she could have ever given me, was the fact that I didn't have to look. And she immediately put me to ease, immediately put my anxiety at ease. So follow your gut. If people are telling you to do things and your gut is telling you no, go with it. Trust me, it knows you better than anything. It's hooked up to your self-conscious, your subconsciousness, and it'll tell you what you need and what you don't need. So that's one thing that helped me. When I was a child, I used to be able to tell myself that tomorrow's going to be a better day. I'll tell you right here and now, tomorrow's not going to be a better day. Tomorrow's going to be another day. And if you can hook enough another days together, you're going to be okay. Because you'll get to a place that it'll get better, and then you'll have to put another bunch of days together to get to another place. Like I said, the worst part of mine took me 15 months to get through the worst part of mine. And the funny thing is, you'll probably laugh, what actually got me out of the house and got me going again was I started watching that crazy show, Extreme Couponing. And for some reason, that struck a chord with me, and that's what actually got me out of the house and got me moving. Before that, all I did was I went to work, I came home, I ate, I watched TV. When the grief got too much, grief always hit me the worst at night. I would take my sleeping medicine and I would go through my week. Saturday, I would get up, I would go to the grocery store across town, I would drive back home, and I was back in the house. I was afraid of my own shadow. So, just try to get out. I mean, just listen to what your gut is saying. I had driven the truck for 2 years, and all of a sudden I was terrified of driving. Live your grief, feel your grief. It's going to get you through. Don't hide from it at all. Don't do it. Tomorrow is going to be a different day, but you're going to eventually string enough of those days together that you're going to get to a better day. And trust me, I've gotten there, and I know you'll get there too. Another thing that I would say is find a song, find a poem, find a scripture, find a passage that will help you and give you strength. If nothing else, you never know how strong you are until strong is the only choice you have. That is one of the truest statements you'll ever hear. It's very true. 2 months after my parents died, I was watching the movie. I cannot remember what the name of it is, but it's got Christina Aguilera and Cher in it. And Cher sang a song that was in it that says, "You have not seen the last of me yet." And that song struck a chord with me. And that was my song to get me through. You haven't seen me, the last of me. I've been brought down to my knees. You don't know me. You don't know who I am. You don't know how strong I am. You don't know anything about me until you're going to see what comes out of this. And that was what I thought. And that song stuck with me, and it helped get me to a better place. I've since replaced that with, like Wrecking the Truck last month and a lot of other things. And Celine Dion sang the song, "The Show Must Go On." And now that's another song. You can change your song. Keep updating them to go with your life. Things happen. The show must go on. Get the show, and the show must go on. Get those things to help you through life as much as you can. Just hook on to something. Most of all, take care of yourself. Don't hide behind drugs or alcohol or anything like that. I know it can be very easy not to want to feel all those emotions, but you're only prolonging the grief. Like I said, everyone is going to grieve differently. Everyone is some people are better at it, not better at it, but won't take as long. Some, it will take longer. For me, it took 15 months. Everyone will have a different situation, a different way that the death occurred. There will be a lot of different factors involved in it. But these are some of the things that did help me. I can't stress enough that you're going to be okay. You may not think in the beginning parts that you're going to be okay, but you're going to be okay. And if there's only one thing that you need, if you need something to see that and to know that, look at me. I'm okay. Well, mentally maybe not, but I'm okay. I'm here. I'm 4 years later. I have a good life. I've had a lot of things happen to me. I've been down. I've been tripped. I've fell down. Probably rolled around on the ground. But by God, I get up every time. I've learned to laugh again. I've learned to do all the things that I once did. Once you go through this, you will never be the same person that you once were. You'll be a different person. You'll have more compassion. You're going to be the same. You'll be similar to the person you were, but different. And embrace it. It's who you are. It's nothing you can change. Everyone will go through it. But I wanted to just let you know some of the things that I did to get through my grieving process. If there is any questions that you would like to ask me about my grieving process that I did not mention, please leave them down in the comments below, and I will do another video, one with questions that you need asked or you need answers to. I will be more than happy to do that for you guys. And maybe I will come up with some other things that I have forgot what I've gone through, and I can add those into that. Maybe you'll trigger something else that will help me remember what I did for my grief as well. But just know that grief is not the end of it. You'll make it. I made it, and if I can make it, by God, anybody can make it at this point. You've got to have strength, and you've got to have a sense of humor. That's what I have, and you won't have your sense of humor there at the beginning, but it'll come back, and you'll be able to turn around and laugh at some of the goofy things that you did that you're like, what on God's green earth was I thinking about that? Trust me, you're going to be okay. Whether you've been through it, you're through it, going through it now, or you will go through it. Like I said, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe, please do. I would love to have you here. I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a good day. Bye.